important is the FA Cup in terms of a competition for you?
Well, a massive part of our history. You know, we won it 14 times. It's a competition very attached to us, and a beautiful game to play against a massive club with very special occasion as well, with the amount of supporters that they're going to bring as well. So a very, very good game.
And reflecting back to the time that you won the FA Cup with Arsenal, is that one of your finest days in management so far?
Yeah, obviously the memory of winning something, celebrating and sharing it with your people is the ultimate goal. Never forget the process and the people that you are with, but overall great memories about the competition.
And facing the Manchester United side who have faced difficulties under Ruben Amorim but got a draw with Liverpool last weekend, what have you made of the job that Amorim has done so far?
Well, when you look especially about the big teams, how they perform and the results that they got, very impressive. I know him well. I followed him a lot while he was in Portugal, and there is a big reason why he is where he is at the moment, and he fully deserves to be there.
You've spoken quite emotively about some of the issues he's experienced so far. Does it just go to show just how difficult it is to turn a club's fortunes around mid-season? I mean, can you relate to some of the experiences you maybe experienced when you first started here at Arsenal?
Well, I think every manager, you know, when he gets appointed is for a reason. The reasons can be different. Sometimes it's just to improve a football team, to get more performance out of certain players. Sometimes it's to transform a football club. That's a totally different dimension of a job. And if I have to relate to mine at that time, it was more towards that than the previous one that I mentioned.
And lastly, you've had some success in the January transfer window before, the likes of Trossard and Jorginho coming in. What sort of profile player do you look for when you go to recruit in the January transfer window?
Well, first of all, someone that can impact the team. Bringing bodies, it doesn't help at all. It's just about somebody that can impact immediately performance, and it can bring something that we don't have actually. And that's in this market very, very difficult to achieve.
That's great. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Gail from Sky Sports.
You were left a little bit frustrated after the other night by lack of cutting edge given the dominance you've had. Had the same against Fulham. Everton, we heard you talk about how much you controlled and dominated the game. Where do you find that from? Is that solution, do you believe, in those players? Or are you at the point now where maybe there is somebody out there in January that can alter the chances?
My players.
Pardon?
My players.
Your players?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And how do you go about getting more out of them? Because it has become a little bit of a familiar story in some of those games.
Well, depending, obviously, if you look at an example of a game or two or three, that's a very short sample. You cannot use that. We don't use any short samples because they don't correlate to team performance. When you look a year or two, team performance, scores, the amount of players that they are involved, then there is no discussion that we have to focus on our players.
So right now you aren't having discussions with those above you about reinforcing in that area in this transfer window?
We always have discussions with the ones above, discussing how we can improve the team, always, whether it is the market is open or closed, because we have to plan for what the necessities are right now and what the necessities are mid and long term. So those discussions are always open.
It's not a priority of yours?
Sorry?
If you could bring someone in, is that area not a priority of yours? Is it a priority of yours?
No, the circumstances change because we have certain injuries of some big players. So there's always a possibility, but always if we believe that it's somebody that really is going to make us much better.
And just finally, the all-important question, how's the ball for the weekend? Because it's another new ball and it's a very special ball, isn't it? You're playing.
Why is that so important?
Because it's a different brand, but also it's a special one because Manchester United are the holders, so they've got an extra
Because of the
special
colour.
ball.
Is what it is, you know.
It might make a difference for you, just never know, do you?
A good difference. So we adapt. In Champions League is different. If you're relating to the question I got the other day about the ball, and that what I said is every ball is different. Champions League ball is different, different grip, different fly, different feeling. That's it. It's not an excuse. It's a reality. Every pitch is different. Weather conditions changing in football. That's the beauty of it. That's it. We adapt to that. Never use it as an excuse.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go to Jonathan from the club.
Mikel, it's going to be the fourth time that we've worn the all-white kit to support the No More Red campaign. How important is the role of the club in a way raising awareness at such a serious issue?
Great, because we have so many people putting so much effort, putting their lives to try to improve. So many people's life quality, creating safe spaces, safe environments, and when we got an opportunity to raise that in such a big occasion, I think we have to do it. So, well done to the club, well done to everybody that is participating on that, because they put so much into it, and the impact is huge.
Speaking of big occasions, there's going to be 8,000 Manchester United supporters in the stadium, so there's going to be a huge cup tie atmosphere on Sunday. It really means we really need our supporters to get behind the team and make some noise.
Yeah, we have to be more noisy, more on the front foot, certainly than then. Again, it's a special occasion to create that atmosphere. I think it's beautiful football atmosphere. Let's make it our own.
Tom, Football London?
Just stick with the No More Red campaign. Obviously, it means playing in a different kit. I'm just curious, how does playing in a different kit to what you're usually used to, does it change anything in any way?
It does change, obviously. It's not something that we are used to it, but I think it's for the right reason, for the right motive, and let's use it in the right way.
And usually in FA Cups, an opportunity for maybe some rotation. In particular, we see teams change their goalkeeper, and Neto's waited a very long time for an opportunity to play. Not saying it would be tomorrow or Sunday, but what has it been like with him being behind the scenes with the group but not being able to get on the field? What contribution has he made?
Yeah, that's always with the players that are not playing many minutes, in his case as well, because he was cup tied for the Carabao Cup, because David is doing so well, and we will decide what's the best option, because the history has changed a lot in the cup competition. When you look at last week, the lineups where it used to be years ago are completely different, so everybody has to be available and ready to play.
Charles and Goal?
Just in response to what you said to Gail there, you said sort of a small sample size of 2 or 3 games in terms of struggles in front of goal. I think this season, 13 of your 30 games, you scored 1 or less, and you've only won a couple of those games. So it feels like it's a problem that's bigger than just a small sample size. It's about 43% of the season that the struggles in front of goal. So does it not feel like it's a little bit more of a concern as
When we were the team that scored more goals in the calendar year in the Premier League, I don't think that can be a problem.
one of those players, Martin, has been so sort of consistent in front of goal the last couple of seasons. I think he's only scored once this season,
Yeah.
and that wasn't from open play, it was a penalty. How big a concern is that? Why do you think we've sort of the goals we've come to expect from mine have dried up a little bit?
Because there are moments sometimes, and probably sustaining, and that's again when you go to probability and when you go to samples, sustaining attacking midfielder scoring 15 goals like he did 2 years ago, it doesn't happen, because it hasn't happened in 50 years. So we were very aware of that as well in the other side of the coin. So he's trying very hard. He had some big chances. We missed some opportunities. Just help him and make sure that he's confident enough to take the shots when he needs to do that, because he's so good at it.
So Jordan from The Athletic?
Okay, well, just on talk about Martin, when he came back from injury, he really hit the ground running. Maybe
Yeah.
a few quieter games lately. That sort of coincided with Kyle going out injured. Is it a case that they've become so used to playing with each other in every single thing they do that without the other one it takes them a little bit of time to adjust?
It can be an element of that. Obviously, he's come from an injury, and the first maybe week or two you have that extra energy, and then you play every 3 days. He was ill as well for over a week, so that plays a part. So there are a lot of circumstances, but obviously it's inevitable to think when you have such a chemistry with a player and you are not together next to each other that you're going to notice something that is different.
And just when we're looking at the market, potentially bringing in another forward, a lot of the signings the last couple of years have been versatile, can play 2 or 3 positions. Are you at the stage now where, if you're looking at forwards, do you want a specialist, or are you still looking for players who can play across all 3 positions?
Well, in the front position, comparing to what other clubs have done and the expenditure that we had there, we are very far from it over the years, for different reasons. First of all, because we have already very good players, and because we had many necessities in the squad to achieve in that period.
I'm just going to ask about that, because as you say, your spending has tend to be focused on the back line or the midfield for goalkeepers. Is that something you're aware of, and is that something that now will change in your squad building?
Yeah, very aware, because we have certain limitations and we have a lot of gaps and a lot of things to cover. to become the team that we want. And then the availability of those players, can you afford them as well, even if you want to? And sometimes being not possible.
Simon Standard.
Mikel, just ask you about when you won the FA Cup in 2020. As an experience when there was no sort of fans there, an empty stadium, what was it like that day?
I was so happy, so proud, because it was a really tough period, emotionally as well, an experience, because obviously to take the first managerial job here in the middle of the season, then go home for 2.5 months, then start competing again in those circumstances, it was tricky, but I was so happy because it was a long time ago that we didn't win a trophy as well, and just want to replicate the same, but sharing it with our people.
I was going to say, does having that experience where it was empty sort of motivate you more to be back there at Wembley, but 80,000
Yeah.
family there?
That's what we want. I mean, and we had some taste. It's not the same when we won the Community Shield a few times, but we won the big ones, and we won the big ones in front of our crowd.
James, ESPN.
Hi, Mikel. You mentioned earlier that you had a sort of transformative job when you came in here. Amorim's obviously got into United in the same kind of time of the year as you came in, you know, when there's games every 3 days and no time to train. And, I mean, how hard did you find that during that first period to sort of implement what you wanted to do when you had no training blocks?
Well, I had like Ruben has much more experience that I had at the time as well. So he's in a better place, and there's no COVID. So I think he's got better options in that case. It is tough because obviously you need time to implement your ideas, especially your way of playing and explaining that. And when you have that many games, it's tricky. So I understand.
It's the first time he's had a clear week to work with his group before the Liverpool game. In the video analysis you've done, did you notice different things in United because they've had that week?
Yeah, it's true. They play a little bit different as well with the personnel that they use, the location of certain players, that their characteristic of the players at the end dictates as well what they do, where they have more threats on both sides, 2 feet in behind, because that's at the end what determines the behaviors of a team. And it is different the last few weeks to when we played them here at home. So I'm expecting a few different things. Yeah.
Okay, last couple in the live section. Firstly, Phil at PA at the back there.
Hi.
Ian Wright said after the Newcastle game that you need help from the board because if it carries on like this, it's going to be difficult to score. Is that? Do you agree with that, or just your response to that?
No. I have so much support from the board. I continue to have it, and we are all seeking and willing to do the same, which is to win the maximum amount of football matches in the way that we want to play, to achieve ultimately the goals that we want to achieve, which is to win trophies, and that support continues to be there, but we have our limitations.
It always seems to be so much external noise, whether it's from ex-players or social media. How do you personally deal with that? Because it always seems to be someone telling you what you need to do.
Sorry?
There always seems to be someone telling you what you need to do in terms of like ex-players or social media or fans. How do you personally deal with that?
I mean, that's their job as well, no? To have their opinion and to put them and present them and give the right reasons to do that. So for me, it's not a problem at all.
Okay, Mel in Spanish.
Hola, Mikel.
Hola.
El domingo va a estar el equipo vestido todo en blanco para la no más rojo campaña, que es una causa muy importante. ¿Cómo preparas los jugadores para traer tanto atención a este partido y cómo van a estar vestidos?
Bueno, los jugadores están acostumbrados a jugar partidos grandes. Es un partido grande, una competición que está muy, muy ligada a la historia de nuestro club, porque la hemos ganado 14 veces y con mucha ilusión.
Sí, pero también con esa ilusión, y para los jugadores que son más jóvenes, que han venido y va a ser la primera vez que va a estar ahí para esta campaña, ¿cómo ayudas a ellos para estar preparados para ese domingo y está ahí con su club, con todo el amor que tiene para el club, ahí haciendo tanta atención para esa causa que es muy grande para toda la comunidad?
Creo que hay una comunicación muy buena dentro del club para explicar a los jugadores todo lo que hacemos con nuestra comunidad, todas las ayudas que intentemos proveer, el impacto que tienen en ellos, porque al final los jugadores tienen que estar involucrados, porque son al final los que tienen el poder también de llegar a mucha gente que tiene necesidades de ayuda. Y yo creo que ellos están felices de que podamos hacerlo y ojalá que el domingo sea un día bonito.
Sí, esta FA Cup, ¿qué es tu visión para 2025, para ganar esta copa? ¿Qué tienes que hacer?
prepararnos muy bien y ganar el domingo. No hay otra, es ir partido a partido, es intentar ser mejor que el rival y centrarnos en el presente. Y lo que venga después será un mérito de lo que hayamos hecho en ese camino.